Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. D7200 from Nikon, brand new camera, just announced, and I was talking about in the last video on the D7200, the lack of earth-shattering improvements over the 7100, and asking, did it justify a new model? It seemed to me there really just wasn't enough new improvements, new changes to it to justify a new model over the 7100. We've had some great conversation on that in the comments. I'll put the link to the video below. You can have a look and see the back and forth there. A lot of people agreeing with me, a lot of people saying, making some good points that the 7200 is still a great camera for those upgrading from a lower model body. And I would agree with that comment, or those comments there, that is the case. If you are coming from the 7100, the 7200 is probably not all that interesting. But if you're coming from the 3200, the 3300, if you're coming from the 5200, the 5300, if you're coming from a point and shoot, the 7200 is still going to be a great body, a great DSLR that would be of great interest to you. It's probably one of the best crop sensor bodies, DX sensor bodies on the market. My point in the earlier video was that it's not all that much of an upgrade from the 7100, and not of all that interest to people with the 7100, but still a great camera. I'm not saying it's not a good camera, don't get me wrong there. I want to give you 6 reasons it's probably one of the best cameras on the market. First and foremost, the sensor, the 24 megapixel sensor, is one of the best sensors on the market today, if not the best crop sensor on the market. It's got excellent color, excellent dynamic range. It's got excellent resolution. It performs very well at high ISOs, which takes us into point 2, and that is that it has in the 7200 has a better high ISO performance. Nikon is claiming increased low light sensitivity, so it's even better in that regard. And so those 2 main points related to the sensor. A third point would be the AF. You don't get much better autofocus than what is in the D7200. For the price point, you're getting some top-of-the-line, incredible autofocus. Very good autofocus system in the D7200. And if you're coming from a lower-end body, you will definitely see a marked improvement in the autofocus system in the 7200. Another advantage with the 7200, which is actually one over the 7100, and that is the increased buffer depth. So we've gone up to a 100 shot buffer now for JPEGs. So you're not gonna, if you're firing quickly in an action scene, you are not gonna have the camera lock up on you because it's got to write to the card and it takes time for that. So that's a big improvement there, and that's a great aspect of this camera. Another improvement in the camera, which is a good point for the camera, is the built-in Wi-Fi. All bodies should have this now. The 7200 does, so it gets a check mark there and is a great option to have in the body, built in, without having to use an external attachment to do so. The D7200 also shoots very fast. It shoots at 6 frames per second, which may not be the fastest DSLR in the crop sensor category, but it is certainly fast, and fast enough for most people. It's a solid showing there, and overall, all of these features of the D7200 make it one of the best crop sensor bodies on the market today. It's probably the DSLR I would buy if I was in the market for one right now for a crop sensor body. It's a strong competitor against the 7D Mark II from Canon. The D7200 is a rugged body. It's well built. It's going to be able to handle most everything you throw at it, and it's a really solid showing from Nikon in the sense of excellent image quality, great autofocus, and the rest of these features that we've been talking about. So the D7200, I would highly recommend it as a body if you're looking to upgrade into the one of the top end crop sensor bodies without moving into full frame. You definitely want to have a look at it. Didn't want to confuse people, from the other video. I'm not saying that the D7200 is a bad camera. When I was talking about was there justification for the D7200? as a release over the D7100. It's an excellent body, and certainly one, if you're in the market segment for that, would be worth looking at. The previous video was basically just getting at the points of I don't see it as a huge advancement over the 7100, but the 7100 was an excellent body too. So hence the point of this video. Very strong cameras. I just would have liked to seen a little bit more advancement. So if you're an owner of a 7100, not sure you're going to want a 7200. If you're got a lower end model, an older model, and you're looking to buy into a new camera today, the 7200 is definitely an option you want to look at. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you have any comments, leave them below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? A little bit further discussion on the 7200. Is the 7200 of interest to you? Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with more videos, more articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, videography, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot, folks.